So in our last video, we touched upon what is water. If you haven't seen that video, you need to watch it now. But in this video, we're going to be touching upon what is living water and what is dead water. So here's the thing. No water can truly die because water is eternal. It is an aspect of Yah. When that water when it evaporates and boils and goes up into the clouds, it'll fall back down as rain and be filtered again throughout the earth, come up again as a spring and form another river or so, right? And enter back into the ocean, and the process will continue for on and on for eternity. Water is eternal, right? So with that being said, we're still going to use the term dead water so you can understand. It's really sleeping water, right? It's not dead, it's just sleeping. So here's the thing. What is living water though? Activated water, I should really call it. This is the water that's coming out of the springs, all right? The hot springs, right? So here's the thing. As we know, if you watch my geography videos proving that the Holy Land is in America, you've probably heard me say already, Western North America has the most springs concentrated on Earth, on all planet Earth, right? The only country that has more springs than America per size is Japan. But you gotta understand, Japan is also on that ring of fire that Western North America is on. So it's gonna have that same chain. But North America still has more springs than Japan. It's just Japan has the most concentrated because Japan is a small island. But anyway, besides that, Western North America has one of the highest concentrations of springs on planet Earth. And springs produce living water. Springs, also known as fountains back in the old days, they produce the water, the living water. Why is it living water? Because it's mineralized. When water is in a pure form, it's sleeping. When it's just H2O by itself, it's just sleeping. So you're drinking that purified water, that water is dormant. It's not really activated. In order for the water to be activated, it has to have a little bit of iron in there, you know, a little bit of carbon, a little bit of nitrogen in there. Why? Because that changes the frequency of the water and activates that water. The water the primordial waters that existed before Yah began to create the heaven and earth, guess what? That water had every single mineral and every single element on the periodic table within it. So that's why that water was extremely reactive and it could create all the things that we see today. The more mineral concentrated that water is, the more alive that water is. Spring water is living water. Spring water is the water that can heal you. Spring water flows into the river water. River water is also living water. River water also contains lots of minerals. River water flows into the ocean water. Ocean water is also living water. Ocean water contains highly electrified salt and silt and fish poop and all other kinds of the animals decompose in the oceans. When a whale dies, they decompose into the ocean. When the seal dies, they decompose in the ocean. When the sharks die, they decompose into the ocean. So that's a breakdown of nitrogen and carbon and iron and all this other stuff into the water. The ocean is living water. It's alive. It's listening. It's listening to your speech. It's recording what's going on. Right? So that's why when Yah said, I call the heaven and the earth to record you this day. What do you think that means? You got to understand, this system that we're living in that we call earth is a being. All right. It's our mother. It's our mother. It's the feminine principle. So anyway, spring water, river water, ocean water, that's living water. Now, tap water is not. It's dormant water, sleeping water, dead water. Reason why is because, yeah, it might have some minerals in it, but it's simply unnatural minerals that were added into the water through birth control, through fluoride, etc. That's all in your drinking water, by the way. That's why you should never drink any water out of the sink, out of the water hose, out of the shower, or anything like that. See, look, here's the thing. When we was children, we used to love going outside in the hot summer, playing outside. Our parents used to say, stay your ass outside. You remember that? But guess what? We was drinking that water hose water. And that's why we so messed up now. Our parents was doing that too. And that's why they so messed up. That's why the testosterone levels are going down. That's why the health levels are going down. We're messed up. We're drinking water that's not natural. Not only is the water full of chemicals that should not be there and depleted of the natural minerals, but also that water is being shot through right angles and tubes and pipes and things that it should never naturally flow through. In nature, water always flows wherever it wants. It bends and bows in these perfectly round curves. It's never no right angles, never no angles at all. It's always perfectly round curves. In the rivers and the springs and the ocean currents, they move in these big, large, river-like waves of just curves. Never any angles. There's never any angles that water has to flow down. So once you create angles and cause that water to move in those angles, it messes up the crystalline structure of the water, and it therefore stops that water from being able to have the same frequency that it would have if it naturally came out of a spring or out of the ocean or out of the river. Now, out of all the living waters, ocean water, river water, spring water is the best because you can drink spring water. It's easier to drink spring water than to drink river water, because river water, or lake water for that matter, may have some type of bacteria that can make you sick. Not always, but it could. Ocean water, that's the heavily salt water, is not good for you either. It can eventually kill you if you drink too much. But spring water is perfect. It's already perfect. It comes directly out of the earth. It's given to you on a silver platter. That's really healthy for you. That's medicine for the body. That actually makes you live longer. Why do you think there's something called the fountain of youth? Water is life. Water is life. Why does scripture say that blood is life? What's inside of your blood? It's only red because there's a lot of iron in it. But your blood is living water. It's full of nutrients and minerals. And it's flowing. Not in angles, not in these crooked positions. It's flowing like a river would flow, like a stream would flow, all throughout the body. That's living waters, highly concentrated. But see, the water that's inside of your veins is red. We call it blood, but it's really just water. That's the water that's flowing throughout your veins is red. It's not clear because it's highly concentrated. It's thicker than the water that we see in a river. It's very close to what was in the Shamayim. Understand, the Shamayim, the heavens, the water above the firmament, guess what? That water contained every single mineral that exists. So with that being said, it was thick and it was not clear. We don't know what color it was, but it was not clear. It was also very reactive, so there was a lot of steam and bubbles and things popping up out the water, and very reactive, because when you mix certain elements, explosions happen and all kinds. That's why it was called the chaos. It was a lot of explosions and things like that just happening in the waters. So y'all had to separate everything out to maintain harmony and create balance. So you can go outside and you can see a perfectly still day. You can see the waters looking perfectly still, without a ripple or without a wave. You can see the mountains standing perfectly still. You can see the trees and the leaves standing perfectly still without a breeze. You can see that sometimes because Yah created harmony. It's not all bubbles and explosions all the time like it used to be, because there's no tohu and bohu chaos that was greatly reactive anymore. You understand? So when you understand these things, you will understand life. When you understand water, you understand life, because water is life. So what is living water? Living water is spring, river, or ocean water. Also lake water, because lakes are just rivers that, collected too much water into one concentrated area. But all lakes lead into more rivers, which lead into more oceans. Scripture says living waters will flow out of Jerusalem when the new covenant happens, when we go back to the land, when everything's in rest and at peace. Living waters will flow out of Jerusalem, one toward the east sea and one toward the west sea. This living water is simply spring water. Water from the earth, water out of the springs. You understand this stuff, guys. And one day you guys are going to realize that the earth and Yah are husband and wife. When Yah created the earth, he only created what was already there. The earth at one point, like I just told you, was a big soup of water just exploding and steaming and bubbling and popping, just chaotic water, right? That existed since the beginning of time, which never was. There was no beginning of time. That always existed, just these atoms moving around and slamming into each other and reacting with each other. Just chaos, right? So Yah used that to create what we call the earth, but the earth was already there. This is our mother. This is the feminine. And Yah and the earth are husband and wife. Once you understand that, you realize Scripture says husband and wife are what? One flesh. Once you realize that, you realize the earth is one with Yah, and the earth acts according to Yah's will. The earth is the submissive to Yah, but the same energy that was in the waters was also the same energy that was in Yah in the beginning. They were just a part of each other. It's just different densities of the same thing, man. And once you realize that Yah and this great void and this great water that existed were already the same thing, but just separated due to densities, then you'll see something amazing, and life would just be different.